Okay, the only thing on this slide I want you to remember is my email. If I say something you're interested in, if I say something that piques your interest, fire me a message. At one time, I was a sophomore at Rutgers University, and I was totally lost. My grades would reflect it. But I did want to make a difference, and I'll never forget Professor Manganelli, who lit my spark. I started my career in 1980, and ever since then have enjoyed helping people. You've heard a little bit already about Uganda. But my first real message to you, show of hands, how many engineers in the room? How many business? Finance? You need each other. You're a dynamic marriage, right? And so Dr. Ballestero can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. Professor Gardner, we need a team. If you're doing the challenge, I want to see a team. Second, you need to understand the people, or as we heard, the system will be debunked probably before you land back in Logan. We spent all this time, effort, money, and what these pictures don't show was about 115 degrees some days. And in order to make this work, we had to move 2 nests of tarantulas. No lie. But none of that would have made any difference if we didn't buy the water coolers, because children in the DR do not drink from the plum or the tap. Similarly, and I've run into this in about 6 countries, they're not going to love the fact you're an American trying to help them. In fact, just the opposite quite often. Here, they've been so used to American companies in the sugar cane abusing them. Similarly, many of our workers, as you'll see, are women and children, because the men are not there, they're passed away, they're in this country, working. You need to understand the people. Once again, this slide isn't really good in the sliding, but it's a team. There's 6 disciplines, 9 countries in this group of people. Okay? Now again, understanding the people. And maybe the other thing I'll say as you put your venture together, expect the unexpected. Why did this particular system not get used? I'll let you Google the answer. I just circled it. Find the translation for 4 in this native language. It's a fishing village in China. You can bring your family. Life-work balance. One of our alumni and her daughter, Monica, spent a great deal of time on the Rain Barrel project in San Marcos. I think it changed all their lives. Again, women, children, even my best friend, working. Melissa happens to be a top engineer at Arcadis. She did the New York City project, 2.6 billion gallons per day. This was one of the happiest days of her life, as she admits. It's why we do it. Religion, get used to it. In many of the nations I work in, that's the first thing you're going to encounter. Philippines, Guatemala, these happen to be Catholic, but many other nations, you're going to be dealing with a pastor. You're going to be dealing with community. Again, know your people, understand. We got off the plane in the Philippines on this project, and we went to church. I didn't know we were doing that, but we were. Also, you don't have to think small. Yes, our school at 1200 was our big success, but also I've been on projects this large. You have to still have a team. You've never seen monsoons? This was what it looked like in the morning. This is the same area, and this is their drinking water. Okay? Imagine rainfall events of 12 inches an hour. Okay? Again, we need technologists. Again, what this slide doesn't show, construction workers, engineers, it was 92 degrees and 85% humidity. That's a real feel of about 121 if you want to do the calcs. You've got to be perseverant. You've got to be tough. We took water that basically looked like pea soup and made it into better than Durham. Well, that's not, I don't know if I should go further. Once again, it's a team. These are really the people making the difference. We joked that we took 6 of these folks on one side of a teeter-totter and I on the other, and we balanced. It was exciting. And thanks, you heard from Kat already, my students are leading me in another direction, a water guy doing energy. It could be a little hazardous, folks, but thanks to Kat and her group, I'm learning. All right, I'll close with this. Why do I still do this? My particular focus is on drinking water and providing clean water. I like to tell our undergrads that my big goal before retiring, before hanging up my textbooks, is to touch the water of 2 billion people. Right, and germicidal? Yep. Yeah, 254, yeah. I realize the number is sort of, wow, but I figure if you aim high and you miss your goal, you still do as best you can.
You can turn it off and see the sedimentation properties.
Right, now you can see the solids, you can see that motion there. Well, we get involved a lot of different ways. We design treatment processes for water plants from the smallest town in New Hampshire to New York City, and then particularly with our undergrad, Engineers Without Borders, and this interest in international work, we do a lot of developmental work, water for schools in the Dominican Republic, for example. It's a great lesson for the students. They want to change the world. You hear that a lot. They want to make a difference. So that's how we take the classroom lessons, the lab lessons here, and then we apply them in an actual system. And for them to know that they can't leave the job site until it's safe for the actual people to drink it, and then watching the people drink their water, I watch the students just get so excited. I think the biggest message each year's group gets is refuse to fail. When you do a real project, especially under the challenges of an international location, unreliable power, takes months to get things delivered and ordered. You have to persevere. So they get great perseverance. But then I think the other thing I see, when that water starts running and they drink it and the people of the nation drink it, I just see the UNH students' faces just beam. They have made a difference. And most of them know my 2 billion count, and they think, yeah, you're crazy, Malley, But they've all started their own count. Just taught the 42 new students, and they all want to change the world. They all want to make a difference. So it's more water to serve to people. I'm not at my 2 billion yet, so more undergrads and fresh minds. To be very honest, I'm being very selfish. They keep me young. They are just wonderful.